You're in LA?
I'm in Vegas, which is like East LA.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just out there actually about a month and a half ago.
You were? Where did you perform,
Yeah.
Flip?
Well, I was supposed to be performing at the Laugh Factory at
Harry.
Tropicana, Harry, exactly. And my second day there, I got COVID. So yeah, I caught it down here. I'm in Florida. Who would have thought? But it hit me in Vegas. So I had to quarantine for 2 weeks in a Tropicana hotel room.
I can't think of anything worse unless it's like a suite.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was, I mean, you know, all things considered, it was a nice room and it could have been stuck in a worse place, but still just, it would, if I'm going to get it, I'd rather have been quarantined in my own house, you know, but what are you going to do?
So it didn't get you too badly if you were over it in 2 weeks, right?
No, it was, I'm vaxxed and I'm grateful because I have asthma. So I know that had I not, I had no respiratory issues at all. It was very mild, thank God. So I am oh, I'm so sorry. This chair is squeaking. I am so yeah, it was very mild case. So got lucky.
Good. That's good. I smiled too much. So you could be talking about your great aunt dying yesterday and you would see permagrin on my face. Just ignore it. Just go with
No,
it.
it's funny that you mentioned that. My great aunt died yesterday. And so, but no, I'm smiling too because she was a bitch. So screw her.
I want to do your intro that you sent me. Flip Schultz has been a touring comedian for almost 30 years. Do you know there's nothing I've done for 30 years? Nothing. Nada. His combination.
You like.
What's that?
I said you find something you love to do and do it forever. That's my motto.
Yes. His combination of humor, physicality, and improvisation has made him a favorite around the world. Now you get to find out why. Okay, so we're going to stop right at this one. He's toured overseas for our military. Okay, you are my hero. I love you forever. You could rob a bank and kill an old lady, and you're still way up there in my book. I'm a veteran.
Oh, well, God bless you. Thank you.
And I do.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because yesterday after my great aunt died, I robbed the bank and killed another old woman in retribution. So. Did
you hear him? He called me an old woman with a smile. He said another old.
A different, much older woman than you. You're a youngster, you.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun. He's toured overseas for our military, appeared on several TV shows. I'm not talking about the ones you pay money to look like you were on them. I'm talking about really appearing on good shows. Let me list them off for you. Last Comic Standing, ring a bell? Comedy Central? Yeah. HBO? Yeah, probably when HBO was really quite the thing. Not before all these Hulus and things came along, like, you know,
yes,
like the Beatles did to our music in my day.
Yes, pre-streaming HBO.
Yes, the real HBO back in the day. He worked with such entertainers. Yeah, get ready to get your socks knocked off of you now. George Carlin. He's worked with George Carlin, Weird Al Yankovic, The Temptations. I have never heard them tell a joke. And Dana Carvey. Let's give it up today for him, the funny man. Flip is funny. Flip Schultz. Yes!
Yay!
What do you have to say? Where are you? You're in Florida right now?
I am in Florida right now, yes. I moved here a year ago. Before that, I was living in LA, Louisiana. Stupid joke. Yeah, no, I moved here. This is where I grew up. And last year, with everything happening with COVID, I just kind of saw the writing on the wall. And I'd been in LA for 20 years. So I decided that it was, it's a good idea to just get away, spend some time with family, kind of recharge down here, and worked out very well so far.
Wonderful. I've seen the handwriting on the wall, but I'm sold it was hieroglyphics that I saw. Sorry, it just came to me and I couldn't resist. So
No.
yes, now
You know why Nefertiti was always so angry? She was on her pyramid. She was in denial. Stop it.
He has a tag for his joke. Oh my gosh.
I'm a tag master. I'm always just.
Are you?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm that like a great I work with a lot of comics, some that you mentioned that are just upper echelon, a lot of ones that are at my level or whatever. And it doesn't matter if I ever see a comic doing a joke, a tag might come to my mind, and I don't care who they are. If it's Dana Carvey or some open micer, I'll go, hey, you know, it might be funny to add to that, because that's just how my brain is, just always coming up with tags and a lot of puns. I'm just a fun nut.
That's amazing that you mentioned that. I just have like 100 jokes up on the wall that need tags. You got 5 days for me? Oh my gosh.
Oh, wait, throw one out at me. Let me see if I can tag it.
Okay, let me get one. Okay, give me a number and I'll pick it.
31.
Okay. I almost banged a Portland hipster barista. And it wasn't because of what he was wearing. It was because of what he said. He said, I look just like Marilyn. And I was like, oh, she's so, no, Manson. You look like Marilyn Manson. Okay, go for it. Scratch the joke or tag it. Scratch or tag.
Oh, that's a good bit. It's a good bit. You little Marilyn.
Thank you.
I mean, if you're a Marilyn Manson fan, you might get the tag. So I'm one of the beautiful people. That was a song by Marilyn Manson, but it's a kind of a deep cut tag.
I like it. Thank you.
Or you could, or wait a minute. Hold on.
How to get my money's worth out of an interview.
Wait, I'm sorry. This is just my brain thought of something. I'm just trying to put it together. Okay, this might not be the exact reference to use, but here's a blueprint for where you could go. And then you look at him and go, well, that's so funny. You remind me of George. And he goes, Clooney? I go, no, McFly. But something funnier than that. But, you know, you remind me of a guy, or, or like, I was trying to think of like an actor who has a male and female name, like Leslie Nielsen. Say, you remind me of Leslie Nielsen? No, the female version of that. I don't know. Sorry.
I love it.
Now we're wasting time on the interview. It's become a writing session. I'm sorry, Linda.
Leslie Jones.
There you go.
And then I get canceled right after.
No, you say you're funny, just like Leslie Nielsen. No, Jones. But she is funny, so that wouldn't.
She is. It wouldn't work that way.
Yeah, that really wouldn't work. But
just like
the blueprint is there.
Yeah, you look just like
look
Leslie. Leslie Jones, he's not handsome. No, Leslie Nielsen, he's not handsome. No, Leslie Jones, she's
Leslie
real handsome.
Jones. Yeah, she's very.
So bad. Okay, so
I'm sorry. Continue.
Let's get back to who is Flip Schultz. Who were you growing up? Who remembers you, how Meshuggah you were as a little kid in class, in the family?
Oh, everybody. It's almost a classic comedian scenario. I was a very shy kid, except when it came to making people laugh. When I had an audience, I came out of my shell, whether it was family, at like some birthday party or holiday, or at school, and I was doing impressions or making people laugh. And again, cliche, I realized that, making people laugh made me feel good. And it also allowed me to be more social. And I actually did, I actually did stand up for the very first time when I was 8 years old
No
in a talent
way.
show. In a
What?
talent show. Yeah. And I won the talent show doing stand up.
What?
And I still have the trophy that I
Oh,
won as an 8-year-old kid doing stand up. To me, this always represents a turning point in my life. This is when, as a kid, I went, oh, this is what I want to do. So
that's so
I was,
beautiful.
bless you.
That's
Thank you. I was very lucky that I knew very young it's what I wanted to do. How I was going to do it, I had no idea, but I just was laser focused on that goal. And from adolescence through high school, it was about entertaining and trying to figure out how to be funny, And then in high school, I started doing theater, and I found like another aspect of performing. And I got my degree in college in theater, got a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, and still did stand up while going to college. And then right after I graduated, I made the call to try doing stand up full time and haven't looked back.
Wow. So you managed to go full time into comedy and become a working comedian, getting paid and relying on that money as your subsistence, correct? Right out the gate?
Yes, I was lucky because I still had my family. So I lived with my parents while developing my act on the road. I started doing whatever gigs I could get, and started going, like I was in the Fort Lauderdale area, and I started doing Miami and Palm Beach, and then I'd leave that Tri-County area and go to like Tampa and Orlando, and just kind of branching out that way. But I was lucky that I didn't have to worry about rent and all the other, insurance, all of that. Thank God my family has been my support system for a very long time, when I was starting out. So because I had that, it was easier to transition to full-time comedy. But I had no other means of income except for comedy.
Okay, so that made starting as young as you did and getting a trophy that early and getting more skills from acting and improv probably helped you the very first time you went on a real live comedy stage, or was that still scary?
No, it was still scary. I mean, I honestly, I still get nervous when I'm doing comedy. I like it though. That nervous energy always translates to, good comedy energy, in my opinion. I'm not as nervous as I used to be, but it's that, the excitement, the butterflies, or like, oh, this crowd doesn't sound too good. Are they going to be good for me? All those nerves still are there. And but like I said, it's at the end of the day, it just gets me more amped. But the theater and the improv, which I did do, I was in 5 improv troupes. I always tell comics, actors, whomever, that improv, theater, and comedy are all one. They all help each other. Like I do a lot of crowd work in my act, and that comes from doing so much improv that it trained my brain how to think fast, and also gave me the confidence to go into the audience and literally walk a tightrope and not knowing what's going to happen. But then I'm at the point now to where 8 times out of 10, I'll come up with something either pretty good or freaking brilliant. And again, that all stems from just the training I had with improv and theater too, with creating characters. And I do a lot of act outs, and that just comes from that part of my training.
Act outs, were those difficult for you to do? Those are so hard, like I feel like such a schlemiel trying to do an act out. Like, stay in your lane, lady. Comes to mind.
It's some people are better at certain, like I'm not a political comic, I can't write that way. I don't see things that way. And there are comics that are brilliant at it, and there are comics that can, bring in guitar or bring in juggling or whatever. Their strengths are obviously at the forefront of their act. And for me, act outs were they came easy to me. It had something to do with my theater training, and I was always good at voices, and it was just one of those things that I just had a knack for already. So it
What's
really,
what
didn't
would
take
you,
much time.
I have a million questions. My mother always said, God, you can ask more questions. What is your biggest success in your comedy career? In your mind, not forget what other people are saying. What do you call your biggest success?
This is going to sound silly, opening for Weird Al,
And
because
tell me, I want to know why.
when I was a kid, I was the biggest Weird Al fan. I mean, obsessive fan. He was my idol, if you will. Actually, wait, I have two. I have, now that I think about it, I have two that are neck and neck. It's Weird Al, and also because Weird Al wasn't a comedian. He was, he's a brilliant musician, and he's a comedic musician. And I never thought there'd be a way for me to ever work with him. And I remember I met him in 1994 at a record signing down here, where I was on the news as being his biggest fan. And I remember thinking, well, the only thing that could top this is, working with him. And then 5 years later, I got to open for him at the Hard Rock Live in Orlando, and then do a 3-city tour with him in Florida the next year. And to me, that was because this is a dream I had as a kid, and just perseverance, hard work, focus, and chance and relationships led me to the opportunity to open for the guy that, shaped me. And the other one would be meeting and getting complimented by Robin Williams, who was my stand-up idol. He's who when I was a kid, I saw his show Live at the Met, his HBO special. And I just went, that's what I want to do. And I got to meet him just outside of San Francisco in this town called Mill Valley, where he lived. And they had comedy nights, and he would sometimes show up. And this one night he was there, and he went on after me. I was headlining, and they were going to bring him up as a special guest, and I just couldn't believe it. And he was so nice before the show. And then during my act, the place had like a little balcony in the dark, and I heard him, that unmistakable laugh. And I'm like, holy God, Robin Williams is laughing at my comedy. And then he was waiting backstage. He gave me a big hug and said, oh, that was incredible. And that was just, again, another full circle kind of thing,
Wow. There's been a lot that's been said about Robin Williams all over the map, but I lived in San Francisco in the early 2000s, and I don't remember when, maybe I have it like 2010. I don't know when it was exactly, but after Patch Adams came out, he started going to the Children's Hospital there, USF, and he would ask all of the children, he'd go through to all their rooms himself, ask them what they wanted for Christmas. He'd go shop, he would wrap, and he would deliver all the gifts.
That's believable. That you could tell he just exuded that kind of spirit, And I would never say I knew him, but the few interactions I had with him, he was cordial, he was personable, he was interested in what you were saying, and also very, I don't want to say introverted, but you can also tell when eyes weren't on him, he was just kind of in his own head and, relaxing in himself. So it's wonderful to hear a story like that too. It doesn't surprise me.
I heard that
you could not love Robin Williams.
I heard it from an employee at the hospital, and I heard from the homeless people on Haight and Ashbury. They said that he would walk Haight. He lives south on the beach, and he would walk north and come up Haight almost every day when he was in town, and he would stop and talk to the homeless that were congregated. And as long as they just referred to him as another person, he would stay and talk. But the minute that they went, oh, you're Robin, he would leave.
Yeah, I'd heard that too. Like, again, I only met him I met him 2, maybe 3 times, and each time it was in a comedy, event, either at it was at the Improv in Hollywood or this theater show in Mill Valley. So everybody knew who he was there, so he couldn't get around, being Robin Williams. I wish I got to talk to him, just person to person at some point, but he was in and out so fast.
Yeah.
But still, again, the little interaction I had with him, something that I will always remember.
Always.
Again, him and Weird Al, those are the two big ones for me.
And Weird Al, I've talked to some of his writers, and he's a perfectionist. He will work for hours and it's all clean.
Yeah. Yes, he has always been clean. Even it's so funny. He has a movie that he did in '89 called UHF, which I saw religiously as a kid. And it's so, because I remember it was rated PG-13, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, is Weird Al gonna curse in this? Are we gonna hear Weird Al? And it was PG-13 for silly violence. It was so stupid. But yeah, I remember I saw him at the I think the Greek Theater in LA, and I got to go backstage. His drummer and I became good friends. So whenever Weird Al would play, I would always get to go backstage and see him. And Weird Al knows who I am now, which is so crazy. But I remember he was taking pictures with his fans, and this one guy, he was a little rougher. He wanted to take a picture with him and Al, giving the finger. And Al said, I can't do that. You can do it. I can't do that. So even just giving a gesture, he wouldn't do.
That's so cool.
Okay, yeah, that's what's great about him.
I want to talk about the TV shows you were on, but first I am such a huge fan. I got to meet George Carlin in a gym one time and he was not happy about meeting me. He wanted to be left alone. But tell me what it's like to get to know or to tour with George Carlin, for God's sake.
It was, what you probably everything you think it was. I mean, I got lucky in that when I first moved to LA, I got picked up by his manager. Carlin's manager signed me. And then he goes, hey, you wanna open for George in Florida? Like, yeah. So I was down in Florida, in backstage at this theater, and Carlin I was so nervous, and he put me at ease. And I remember him saying, I'm going to put my stuff away. They're going to watch your set. I'm very excited to see you, because I guess my manager talked me up to him. And I did 10 minutes opening and just killed. Great set. And I got off stage and he's clapping and he goes, "You were funny, kid. You're like an ostrich on PCP," which is a great quote. And I remember another time I was walking by his green room, and this just shows what a genuine guy Carlin was. I was walking by his green room and I looked in, and he's lying on a couch watching CNN or something. And I kind of went, "Hey, George." And he goes, "Oh, hey, Flip. Hey, I'm just watching this news thing. I'll talk to you in a little bit." I'm like, "Oh, no, of course." So I go to my little room and I'm working on my set. And Carlin knocks on the door and goes, "Hey, man, sorry about that. I was watching news. How you doing?" And he just wanted to see how I'm doing. It just shoot. I don't know if I can I curse?
Yes.
I was going to say, just shoot the shit for a little bit. And he didn't have to do that. I'm just a little opener. And then another time when I mentioned that quote, he said I was like an ostrich on PCP, and I'd asked him later if I can use that. And he said, "Yeah, but I was thinking, what's funnier, PCP or angel dust?" And again, I thought it's a stupid little quote for a stupid little comic, but he's still trying to think of the funnier word. And that's what Carlin was at the end of the day. Yeah, he was a celebrity. He was an icon. He was rich. He was everything, but he was still a comic. And he still just wanted to find the funniest words and still relate to comedy. And that, to me, is how I'll always remember him.
Oh, wow. Well, let's go forward into you getting on major TV scenarios. Last Comic Standing. What do you have to say about that? My gosh, every comedian wants to be on that.
Yeah, that was fun. I made it into the top 40. I didn't get it into the house, but it definitely upped my profile in the business. And that it truly was. I remember that was 2000. That was 2006. Credit still works though. I had auditioned in Hollywood. I think I'd auditioned one time before that, but I auditioned at the Improv in Hollywood. And, I did my minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever it was. And the judges said, thank you. It's just, I don't think we're going to pass, whatever. And I remember I had the balls to just go, well, can I ask why? And they said, time, we just don't have room for you. And I went, all right. So it had nothing to do with my comedy. It was just because they're casting a show. There's not much reality about it. They're casting parts on a show. So I left, and I remember they were auditioning in Miami, and I think I was working down here right around the time they were doing the audition. So I went, well, you know what the hell? Let me fly down to Miami. I'll stay with family before I go do whatever gig I had, and I'll audition there. So I went down, did the audition. I remember they were coming in and they saw me, the two judges. It was Ross Mark and oh my gosh, I'm flaking on the other name. They're the bookers for the Tonight Show. And they saw me there and they went, oh, what are you doing here? I said, I came to audition in Miami. And I remember the camera crew was there and they go, get Flip on tape. He'll be good. Get him on tape, interview him. So that immediately I'm like, okay, this was good. And then I went in, did my audition, and they said, okay, we'll see you later tonight. And I was like, and that's all I just wanted to get onto the Miami audition stage. After that, I didn't care. And I had a great set. So did a lot of comics. And then they advanced 2 people. And when they said, if you watch the clip, I had a genuine look of shock on my face because I was not expecting it. I really wasn't. So I was just over the moon about that. And then again, I'll give you a little insight. So we did the top 40, and that year I think they picked 12 comics, and I didn't end up being one of them. And a friend of mine, they had us sequestered at a hotel. A friend of mine who was also on the show, was driving me back to my place, and we're getting ready. And he goes, you know that everybody was pre-chosen before we even auditioned. And I went, no, maybe a couple people, but not everybody. And he had a friend who was on production who gave him a copy of the production schedule and the production notes, and literally already pre-typed, it said announce winners, and everybody's name was already typed in there. So this, like I said, the show was cast before we even did our first joke. And to be honest, it was a relief to me because I went, oh, it's not that I'm not funny. I just didn't fit any of the parts they were casting. I'm just, I'm a funny white guy. They want the black guy, the Latino, the gay, the woman, the troublemaker, this and that. And I just didn't fall into a category. So it was a good lesson in kind of like behind the scenes of Hollywood.
That's awesome. Good to know.
A very long-winded story. I apologize.
I love it. Are you kidding me? What advice would you give to baby comics that want to get on last comic standing type shows?
Get a good agent. Be as real and true to yourself as possible, because there's nobody else like you. And what sells in the business is uniqueness. So don't try to emulate another comic. You can be inspired by another comic, but don't try to be another comic. Be yourself.
Love
and
that.
Be the funniest, most original version of yourself.
Thank you. So now I want to hear about you and HBO and Comedy Central. What? Holy Toledo, you were with the OG HBO. Yeah,
I was on HBO in, I am aging my career. In 2002, 2000, was it? Yeah, it was 2002. I think this might have been either the last or second to last HBO Comedy Festival that they had in Aspen, which I think after Montreal was the most prestigious comedy festival you could do. And I got that because my manager was Carlin's manager. And they, that year, the whole theme was freedom of speech, and they wanted Carlin. And my manager goes, well, if I'll give you George if you take Flip Schultz. And apparently they went, oh, we love Flip, that's fine. So I went up to Aspen and met with a lot of important people, got to see some really fantastic shows, meet some amazing people. And they had recorded everybody, and they used some comics for these things they had at the time called, I think they were called like HBO Comedy Minutes, which are like these little interstitial bumper things. And a couple of my clips were played on that. and played on HBO, which was really amazing.
Wow.
And then Comedy Central, actually, the same year, same year I did Last Comic Standing. That was a very good year. I did the South Beach Comedy Festival, which was in Miami, and it was sponsored by Comedy Central. And I had really great shows. And one of the executives called me and said, "Hey, we got this new show that we're doing called Live at Gotham. It's a showcase show, and we want you to be on," I think it was like the first episode. So I got flown to New York, and this was at the Gotham Comedy Club, and had a great set, and was able to add a legitimate Comedy Central credit to my resume.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. You have had such a great career with all of the people you got to tour with and the places, the legit places you've been on TV. My goodness sakes. What's your biggest, I don't know, people never like to admit they have a regret, but do you have anything that you wished you could have done by now that you still want to do?
Well, of course, I think everybody, I think you always want to have something to strive for. I've auditioned probably about 4 times, and I always get to the main producers, but never beyond that. Is America's Got Talent. I'm still pushing for that. And I still believe in my heart of hearts that that opportunity will come. I'll tell you the probably the biggest regret I have in my career. This was 2002, was it? Yeah. They brought Star Search back on CBS. Arsenio Hall was hosting, and it was live. It was live to the East Coast, and I got picked to be on it. And it was my first big exposure. I mean, this was national TV, CBS, live. And so let's cut to it. Arsenio introduces me, and I'm already on stage, and I've got the microphone, and I go, "Thank you. Thank you, thank you, because I'm saying thank you so many times because I don't hear myself. My microphone wasn't on. I'm on live TV, broadcasting live to the East Coast, and I have no sound in the studio. People at home could hear me. The audience in the studio that I'm supposed to make laugh to be judged on could not hear me. Maybe the first couple of rows. So I think I had like 80 seconds or maybe 90 to do a set. Long story boring. The sound came on like the last 15, 20 seconds, but by then I kind of shot myself in the foot as far as nobody could hear me. And I was still on autopilot, but in my head, I'm like, what the fuck? My mic's not on. Oh my God, I'm on live TV. I don't have any sound. They can't hear me. No one's laughing. And I look back on that, and I was so young and nervous. If it was me now, I would have been able to take that moment and I think turn it into something memorable and take advantage of, say, "Hey, can you guys hear me? I can't hear. Can you guys?" And I'd be on live TV. So people at home are like, "Oh wait, is this my," and it would have been more of a, like I said, a moment that might have parlayed into something, or might have, like I said, been a memorable moment or something like that. But I was just so young, I just plowed through it. So nobody knew anything was wrong. So you could say that I was professional for doing that, but I look at it like, oh, I had an opportunity to really make a moment, and I didn't do it.
Wow.
And it took me about a year to get over that. That was a tough one to swallow. But again, it gave me a lesson that, I thought my career was over, but life goes on, and greater things down the road.
Nobody really remembers it after the fact. That's the beautiful thing. It's like, what's next?
Well,
they forget.
I'll tell you one thing that came out of that. The person I went against was Lonnie Love.
Whoa.
And that's what broke her, because she scored perfect score and then went on to become Lonnie Love. So I was there the second her star started to rise. So there was something memorable to come out of that Star Search.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
I'm just a cautionary. I'm the Brian Dunkelman of Star Search.
I get that reference. Oh my gosh. Flip, where can people follow you on social media? And where can they buy your merchandise, your specials, your tapes, all of the above?
I am on, pardon me, I'm on also, well, not all, but I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and I am at Flip is Funny. And I'm also on Facebook, Flip Schultz. You can get all the links at my website, flipisfunny.com. And there's also links. I have 8 CDs that are available on iTunes and Amazon, and you can get all those links off my site. And there are, and also on my site, you can order a digital copy of I have 3 comedy specials. So all of that is available at flipisfunny.com.
Wonderful. I'm going to go there today, and I'm going to put all of what you just told me onto the top of the post and share it with this video clip. The clip will go on my YouTube, comedian Linda Marcus Smith, but it's going to be with like 730 other comics. So good luck. If I was uploading these, you would see it at 7-Eleven on camera too. So you're lucky that way. This is so fun to get to banter with you and to get to hear your advice. Thank you. Now
my pleasure.
It's so fun. Now that you've graduated from Comic Spot, which this is the title, you get to come back anytime you have something you want to promote for 5 or 10 minutes to say, Linda, I want to come promote, and you're on.
Oh, I appreciate it, Linda. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Flip.
Very
Flip
sweet.
Schultz, everybody. Flipisfunny.com. Thank you. Bye. Love you lots.
Love you too. Bye-bye. Happy New Year.
Thank you. 5782.